Ian, and today we are going to be reading some Reddit entries on the Let's Not Meet subreddit that I specifically talked about and posted on Halloween, and these stories happened on OP's Halloween. So that is the stories we're going to read today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Okay, so just to preface, I have not read any of these stories. First story is called Pretty Sure I Was Almost Lured into a Sinister Halloween Trap. This was posted 3 years ago by Player 8 Her. Let's read. OP starts out by saying, "This just happened a few hours ago. I have called and reported it to the police, and I'm home safely, but I guess I am still in shock. Could do with putting it down and writing and processing it, and figured this is as good as a place as any to share what happened." Come to Reddit, y'all. Just amazing place to write things down. I finished work early today, so decided to go out for a run. I set out at around 4:30 and decided my usual routes, which cross many roads, will not be very particular, and so I took an alternate route along a canal tow path and some pathway along or through the woods that I knew would be less busy. Everything was going well. I was pushing myself steady until I got to a pathway on the way back, around 6 kilometers into the route. It's a long, straight path with a canal on the left side, and right there is a wasteland where some factories used to be, but mostly been demolished. It has been left abandoned for as long as I can remember, and is overgrown with trees and weeds, but there are odd bits of old factory that for some reason weren't fully demolished. As I got level with one part of the factory, which still had some old metal fire escape steps attached to it, I noticed a rough-looking guy sat on the fence with his legs hanging down. He jumped with his feet as he saw me coming and shouted something, but I couldn't make it out. As I came level to where he was, I heard him say, "Wait there, can you find me my phone?" He said this while he was running down the steps, so I stopped as I got level with where the bottom of the steps was, meaning we were standing just a few feet apart, but with the fence between us. It was a really old iron fence with vertical metal bars that have spikes at the top, like you sometimes see around churches and things. He asked me if I would help him find his phone again, saying that he had dropped it somewhere nearby, and asked if I could ring his number so he could listen for it. I felt I couldn't exactly refuse as my phone was strapped to my arm, so I said he can tell me the number, and I took my phone off my arm and unlocked it. He blurted out a phone number, but said it far too fast, and it didn't begin with 07, which made me start to feel like something wasn't right. Although I was beginning to suspect at this point, I wasn't really worried. I am in pretty good shape, had a big size and weight advantage over him, plus there was a fence between us. He didn't seem in very good physical shape and seemed like he might be homeless. I figured if he was trying to mug me for my phone, his only chance would be if he pulled a knife, so I made sure to stay a good distance away from the fence and kept my eye on where his hands were. So I told him I didn't catch any of the numbers because he said it too quickly, and he came out with another number this time. It did have 07 at the beginning. I entered 7 numbers, and then he started to look around saying, "I can't hear it, come help me look," as he looked around at the ground. I was about to say that I hadn't even finished dialing when a much larger black guy appeared from behind a section of the wall to my right. He was also really scruffy looking, and from the look of his eyes, it seemed like he was on drugs. Okay. as if he thought I wouldn't hear, but with it being out in the middle of nowhere, I could clearly understand what he said. The white guy then started acting quite aggressive and punched a tree, telling me he needed the phone badly and how his whole life was on the phone, telling me to come and help them look for it. While he was punching the tree and ranting, the black guy had taken a few steps away to the right, meaning I couldn't keep my eyes on both at the same time. It was after 5 p.m. by this point, and had gotten dark all of a sudden, which made the whole thing even more unsettling. I noticed there was a gap in the fence where some of the bars had been removed, right where the black guy was heading, and I decided at that point to get the hell out of there and made a run for it. Neither of them said anything as I ran away, which makes me sure that they had malicious intentions. If they had genuinely lost their phone and needed help, I would expect them to shout, "Where are you going?" or something to try and get me to come back, but they didn't shout anything. After sprinting for a good 20 to 30 seconds, I turned to see if they were chasing me. They were both stood on the path around where the gap in the fence had been, but were not chasing me. They were just standing there watching me run away. I continued running away, but kept looking back every few seconds until I was out of sight. It was at this point I got off the canal path and onto the roads. The person I spoke to on the phone to report it took my details and the descriptions, but seemed to think it wasn't anything worth worrying about, but said it would be investigated. The whole incident was left me a bit unnerved, and I'm pretty sure I won't be jogging that route alone anytime soon. This next one is titled Halloween Stalker ? Posted 3 years ago on the Let's Not Meet subreddit. First time posting on Reddit. I had a strange unsolved experience as a kid that has been on my mind a lot lately, and decided this is the place to share. The first half of the story takes place on Halloween 1991. Quick bit of a background. I was a 7-year-old boy at the time, and my little sister was only a few months old. I lived in Long Island, New York, on the border area of the town that kind of acted as an unspoken separation between the more affluent area and the lower income hood type area. My dad owned a bar across from the train station that was extremely popular in the 80s and was still riding the trail end of that boom. Riding the tail end of that boom. My father did very well for himself. My father and his business were well known around town. I think this may have to do with what happened. He eventually squandered everything on a heroin addiction, but that's a different story. And for the record, I had nothing but love and respect for him despite this. So it was Halloween. My mom was working the night shift at my dad's bar. My sister was home with a teenage babysitter. My dad had taken me and my friend trick-or-treating. This was the first year I was able to go out at night, so I was super stoked. When we get home, there are cops at my house. The babysitter is crying, and my mom came home. Earlier, while the sitter was alone with my sister, she got a phone call from an unknown number asking to speak to little OP. She said I was not there, and the woman stated that she had a gift for me and would call back. This woman called back a few times saying something similar, and she began to insist that she was going to come deliver her gift. Eventually, she called and said to look in the mailbox. This is when my sitter called the police. The police found a pirate skull Halloween decoration that would talk and shake when you clapped, as well as several figured out who it was. My father had speculated that the person may have believed he was wealthy and maybe was trying to get a ransom. Maybe she was a scorned ex-lover. I don't know. I've speculated many things, but will likely never know at this point, as I am now 35, and that was a lifetime ago. Sorry if this story has an underwhelming payoff at the end, but it has bugged me for years, and I wanted to share it. In the past year, I've had several of my dad's old friends find and reach out to me on Facebook. My dad and I have the same name and face, so it's easy to find. Two of them are women. One of them made me a little uncomfortable because she kept pushing to hang out, and she's a lot older than me. Like, go to the bar, hang out. I said no, of course, but she asked a lot of personal questions. That's what brought the story back to the forefront of my mind. I'm getting a weird feeling in my gut that this woman, or even another one that found me on Facebook, is the same woman that stalked me as a child. That thought gives me a chill, but I would really like to know who this person was and why they stalked me. This next post is called Gas Station Creep on Halloween. So this was 2 years ago on Halloween. I just discovered this up about an hour ago, and I decided to post my own encounter. My best friend and I were leaving a club in Dallas. All you out there in Dallas, watch out. Watch out. And we stopped at a gas station to pick up some snacks and refreshments. This guy comes up to me and tells me I look pretty. At this point, I'm drunk and I'm not worried about a damn thing, so I thank him, smile, and continue looking for munchies. He starts to follow me through the gas station, but I kind of shrug it off. He does what now? He does what now? Me and my friend pay, and we're walking out when he comes up behind us and asks where we're going. At this point, I'm thinking, fuck off, dude. We say curtly that we are going home, and he seemed to take the hint and fucked off. We started to walk down the street. My friend was planning on driving us home in my car since I was unfit to drive. My friend wasn't 21 yet, so he hadn't been drinking. We are about 3 blocks from my car when we notice a car driving really slow behind us. We glance back a few times and realize it's the guy from the gas station following us. Hello. We decide that it's not a good idea to lead him back to my car, so we turn around, walk a different way towards the street where the clubs are. He makes an illegal U-turn and follows us. He then rolls down his window and shouts to us, asking if we need a ride. Politely, I say, no thank you, we are good. We just made a wrong turn. He continues to follow us. We sped up our pace a bit and he speeds up. He calls out to us again through the passenger window, asking again if we want a ride. I tell him to please stop following us or I'll have to call the police. He then calls me a cunt and speeds off. Yeah, let's never meet again. Hello, men have all of the audacity. Oh my god, this person commented on this post saying, what I have learned from Reddit, don't get involved with anything that has to do gas stations at night. This next story is called Halloween of '01. From the title, you know this happened in 2001 on Halloween night to be specific. I was 7. If you want to know my current age, do the math. This was posted 6 years ago, so do the math. My mom helped me remember this one, so if there are any further questions, I will ask her as she remembers the night vividly. It was freezing, probably within the 20 to 30 degree kids with him, so that was a huge red flag to my mom. But he did have a pumpkin basket to put candy in. He followed us around, house to house, always stayed back 3 or 4 houses according to Mom. After 20 or so minutes, she shrugged it off, thinking it was some really tall kid just innocently out trick-or-treating. But the more she said she kept shrugging it off, the more uneasy she felt. Now, I do remember my pillowcase was only half full and my mom hurrying us home, being super pouty about it. I do not, however, remember Mom putting the house on lockdown after we got in the front door, but she remembers and said she did it very quickly. I ate some candy, brushed my teeth, got into bed. Mom lay down next to me. I remember this, and I thought it was a little weird since I was sleeping on my own already at 7. Now, this is where my mom really helped me out with the story, as I had no idea until we talked about it earlier. Fast forward to the morning, there was a pumpkin basket full of candy with a note on top that said meow and chicken scratch on our front porch right outside the front door. No ma'am, no sir, no ma'am, no sir, no ma'am, no sir, no ma'am, no, I'm good, no, I'm good. Are you hungry? I'm full, I'm full, I'm full, I'm not hungry, no. My mom threw out the candy in case it was tampered with, and she burned up the note. Now, what creeps me out, and I just found out from my mom earlier, is that in the middle of the night, she got up from my bed to recheck the house, looked out the window, and saw him in our front lawn, staring at the house with the pumpkin basket in his hand. She didn't think he noticed her. She called the police immediately. She briefed the officer on what happened. The officer said he'd do a few rounds and patrol the area. My mom never heard back from the officer that night, or ever, she said. Mom also told me that she stayed up the entire night with a pistol in her lap after seeing him at the front yard. Yeah. If you have not seen my last video, I said it there and I'm going to say it again. This is how you know this is in America, because who just be having guns? Like, please let me know. Like, let me know. What was that? Everyone in America. Everyone in America. Oh, everyone in America. Okay. Since that night and up until right now, nothing weird with him has happened since. But as for intentions, 0 idea. Alright, and this story is titled Halloween and Bloody Knives, posted 3 years ago. But Opie said that this happened over a decade ago. It was Halloween of 2008. I was in college and still in a relationship with my first serious boyfriend. We'd been together since high school, and it took this night to show me our relationship was abusive. It took one more incident before I finally left him for good. He was wonderful when sober, if intense and controlling, but when he was drunk, I learned he was truly terrifying. This was the first such incident that truly scared me. He joined in a stupid game, a Gatorade and Shine challenge. What the fuck is this? They'd empty a bottle of Gatorade at least halfway and fill the rest up with moonshine. The goal was to finish the bottle within an hour and then tell them elicited such reactions, you ask? Blood. Blood was dripping on the ground from his hand. He was holding a knife so tightly, he sliced his own hand open. Oh my God. I begged him to drop it, which he only agreed to when I walked back towards him. I was an idiot, I know. The two guys seemed at a loss, and I feel so bad for them having their Halloween ruined by this scary, crazy bullshit. They left me to it after. I swore I'd be fine. Reiterating that I could come to them for help, we got inside, and I immediately started hiding all the sharp objects. Called James's roommates, begging them to come home. He started screaming to give him the knives back, how I was a slut if I wouldn't even fuck him. What use was I? My brain, oh my God, this is why the study came out saying men in 2020 motherfucking 2 are having less sex. Anyways, I called my parents and left, then called his mom because I was scared he'd hurt himself. She let me know how he was my problem now. I should have called the police, but I didn't want to ruin his life. I know. I'm ashamed to say I got back together with him for 6 more months of hell after that. But today, I can safely say James